Hello and welcome to XCOM Apocalypse. This isn't OpenAPOC. What we're going to try and do today is do some testing for OpenAPOC. So first thing we've got to try today is just check the stances for vehicles and what they do to avoid incoming shots at each stance. So let's see what happens. Do a medium. So first I've got to orient myself. Now this is something I wanted to try. So vehicles will, when you use the elevation, move gradually up and gradually down as they receive the orders. Currently in OpenAPOC, it moves to the location, then goes up or down, so that is something we definitely need to resolve. Let's try doing a long distance run now. So yeah, they start going up immediately. And it's not over the whole distance that they go up. He's already reached peak. They actually go down relatively quickly. I assume that's relating to something engine related. And they also only go as low as the next object, or as high as the next object in front of them. Okay. Now I've got to get someone angry with me. That's interesting. Why is it not letting me attack this building? Is it because it's government? Self. That is interesting. I always believed that you could just attack anybody. That must be some failsafe. So let's go to manual control. Speed up a bit. So get an idea there of what it was doing. I think it just returned... I really need some missiles. Who do I annoy enough to... Let's try something else. Let's go and annoy the police. That'll do it. I need some considerable number of craft to be chasing me. It's noticeable how resistant buildings are before they count as under attack. I mean, I've just collapsed a load of that building and it's still not angered them. Right, let's try it. I don't know whether he'll survive. So at the moment he's on evasive. Is he going to try and avoid stuff? No, he does just go straight home. Okay. Let's try this again. Knowing that we've got to attack someone important to get enough things fighting back. That's also something else that needs to be dealt with in Open Epoch, is how much money an org has, how much militarization rating it has, dictating what it can field against the player. A lot of this stuff has got to wait until the full relations and diplomatic systems in place, though. There's currently no long-term bias, which is one reason why August and Epoch are a little bit easy to flip. I see that time it allowed me taking it straight away. Must have just been some weirdness the first time. Oh no, it's because I was on evasive. That's why. Okay, so you're going to go straight to base, and we're going to see whether you try and avoid stuff. Yes, they are. Not particularly well, but they are trying to avoid stuff. So maybe I've got this the wrong way around in terms of what I reported to Kurtzley. I do apologise. We actually do need to check the code, so whilst I can run tests like this, it's always better if we can go back at some point and actually check how the original game handles this. Let's do something smaller. So if I put it on evasive, it shouldn't actually attack. Yeah, so on evasive, even with his weapons enabled, he's not attacking the base. Defensive, he starts to. Right, now I'm going to send you home on evasive. So you're doing absolutely nothing on fully evasive. Right, let's go to this one. And we're going to attack over here. Right, and we're going to send you home. Okay. It's weird because I do have recollection of them trying to avoid stuff. Or I could be conflating it with beta again, and it's just... Or maybe it's just the Valkyries don't, or maybe they need better engines. I'll check all that in a minute. Oh well, nice to be proven wrong so far. Right. Okay, so it looks like return to home forces it regardless. Regardless of the stance here. We need to replicate that behaviour, which I believe Kurtzley's patch for OpenAPOC does. So we need to ensure that all stances, when return to home is clicked, it goes direct home. Even if you're returning home, the altitude can be changed, which it does incrementally. But it still goes straight home. It doesn't try and dodge shots, which is interesting. As I say, I do have a recollection of it doing that. However, I do play, as you know from my YouTube videos, I play the beta more than I play the final release of the original game, so maybe I'm conflating the two. So the next thing to try is what effect engines have. This just goes to show the importance of going in and actually checking stuff. As I say, ideally we'd also do this with a code check, but just going in and actually playing it helps. It's just a shame that the final release doesn't have any of the debug commands. It would make things a lot easier, so I'd be, for example, cheating myself in a couple of late game craft and seeing whether they try and avoid. Maybe that's something that those watching can try out. Now we're on original game, so I don't have to wait for a special mission to get itself together. Have to drag everything. Going low. And it waits to go under that before it goes up. So it does seem to use the next obstacle as a gauge to how soon the elevation it goes up or down. and then adjusts how fast it moves its height according to that. That's quite clever pathfinding. God, these animations in the original game are so janky. I'm so glad we smoothed it out for Open Epoch. That's interesting. So it actually moved away to gain height before going back and attacking. It didn't just go up on the spot, even though the target was within range. Yeah, this is definitely making no attempt to avoid being hit. It just moves to... Well, like there, it moves to attack, or head to its location. It was nice it actually turned left to fire a missile in response, and then turned right to go back on its route. So even though it's not avoiding stuff on the way to base, when it can fire, it is taking opportunities to turn and fire one off. So there is some form of retaliation, which we already know from me playing around with this, is stance based, but it still basically makes going home its priority. Interesting. What I may do in the future, because at the moment implementing the altitude and return to base behaviour is more important, is go into the beta and see how different things are there, because that means that potentially for future pulls we can introduce any different beta behaviours as an option. One of the things that would be nice to see is an implementation like my memory served, where according to stance it's brought in line with the battlescape, where an aggressive stance means do as I say, only what I say, when I give the order. So for example, in this instance it would be return to base immediately, don't try and dodge anything, or combined with obviously the attacking back that we've seen, down to an evasive stance where it's return to base immediately, try and dodge stuff as you go, and obviously matches the behaviour of not attacking even when stuff's chasing you. So that would be a more logical implementation, but again it doesn't appear to be, at least with this craft, the original game's behaviour. So maybe we're looking at three options here, which is matching the original game of return to base immediately, don't try and dodge anything, fire back according to your aggression stance. A second option of whatever the beta behaviour is, if it differs, and a third option of return to base immediately, but according to your stance, both attack back and try and avoid stuff. So yeah, a little bit of one to think through there. But yeah, just goes to show, go into the original game, test, and then check the code. I'm going to leave it here for today, and I'll hopefully see you on more of these short test videos soon. Thank you very much. Bye.